The pressure that comes with hosting a major tournament is nearly impossible to calculate. When you factor in the hopes and dreams of an entire nation, the media hype leading up to the first match, and the expectation of winning, that pressure is multiplied to a whole new level. Germany are the hosts of Euro 2024, and alongside all the things that make hosting a major tournament stressful, they also have a decade of subpar results lingering around them at all times. Germany are coming into this tournament as one of the favorites to win it all, but as history tells us, the hosts don't always have it so easy. The last host nation to win this tournament came over 40 years ago at Euro 1984 when France won their first title over Spain. Here's why this year's host will have to break a 40-year-old drought and why this tournament will be critical for the German national team. Germany's reputation as a football powerhouse cannot and should not be underestimated. With 4 World Cup titles, 3 European Championships, a gold medal at the Olympics, and a win at the FIFA Confederations Cup, this nation has cemented its name and football legacy for the rest of time. However, every team has to have a dark period, and the past 10 years have been exactly that for this country. Ever since their triumph at the World Cup in 2014, where they had a truly unforgettable run, including one of the most unpredictable scorelines of all time, it hasn't exactly been smooth sailing for the Germans. Their next major tournament, Euro 2016, would be Germany's best performance since Brazil 2014, as they would make it to the semi-finals only to lose to host nation France in a wild game. They would go on to win the 2017 Confederations Cup, but an 8-team tournament isn't exactly something worth raving about. The 2018 World Cup would be their most disappointing showing, as they would enter the tournament being group favorites only to finish last in truly embarrassing fashion. With the introduction of the Nations League in 2018, Germany are yet to make it out of their group, finishing 3rd, 2nd, and 3rd in the 3 tournaments that have been held so far. Euro 2020 would be yet another disappointing tournament, as they would make it out of a tough group but would ultimately lose to England in the round of 16. The 2022 World Cup would see the squad go out in the group stages yet again after a heartbreaking loss to Japan, an intense draw with Spain, and a victory versus Costa Rica that just wasn't enough. This past decade has also seen the departure of Joachim Löw, Germany's longtime coach, as well as retirements from key players such as Lukas Podolski, Bastian Schweinsteiger, and Mesut Ozil, to name a few. All in all, the past 10 years since their World Cup triumph have been nothing short of a disaster, but it has all led up to this tournament on home soil. What makes this whole situation even more interesting is the current state of the national team. There's a great mix of youth talent who have already made names for themselves for their clubs, and then you have established legends of the game who have been through thick and thin with the national team. Jamal Musiala was only 11 years old when Germany won all in Brazil, and now he's a regular starter at Bayern Munich with a bright future ahead of him. Florian Wirtz missed the 2022 World Cup due to injury, but now he is one of Bayer Leverkusen's best players and one of the best young talents in the world. Kai Havertz, who isn't necessarily considered young anymore, has proven himself in the Premier League and is at the point where he can make an impact for the national team. On the other side of the spectrum, you have players like Manuel Neuer, Thomas Müller, and Toni Kroos, who have been with the squad for almost 15 years and have truly experienced the highest highs and lowest of lows with the team. And then in the middle, you have players like Antonio Rudiger, Joshua Kimmich, and Leroy Sané, who are all world-class players for their respective clubs, but made it into the national team after the peak of its success and who have only experienced the hardships of the past few tournaments. Strictly from a player perspective, winning this tournament would be great for every player involved and would be a great addition to an already impressive resume regardless of age. While the players play a big role in the success of the team, the coaching staff are just as important, and this tournament will be the ultimate test for Julian Nagelsmann. At only 36 years of age, Nagelsmann is being thrown into the spotlight, and failure simply isn't an option. The youngest coach in Bundesliga history saved Hoffenheim from relegation, qualified for the Champions League for the first time in the club's history, and led the team to an incredible 3rd place finish in the Bundesliga while at the club. Nagelsmann would take his talents to RB Leipzig, and while his tenure was not long, a Champions League semi-final and DFB Pokal runners-up finish were solid additions to a very promising start to his managerial career. He would also go on to win the Bundesliga in his first season at Bayern Munich, and even though his time at Bayern was cut short in 2023, he ended his tenure with a 71.4% win rate. Nagelsmann was hired in September 2023 to replace Hansi Flick, and his 6-game stint as manager of the national team is nowhere near enough to judge what he is capable of doing at this year's tournament. Impressive wins against France and the Netherlands gave us a glimpse into the potential of this team being led by Nagelsmann, and their upcoming friendlies against Ukraine and Greece will be good tests to see where he's at before the start of the tournament. A win at this year's tournament would certainly put him into the conversation as one of the best young coaches in world football. When you look past the individual storylines for the players and the manager, it's this collective mentality of needing to win that I think can drive this team to success. It's almost as if Germany wants redemption and to show the world that they are still a footballing powerhouse regardless of recent results. The pressure that comes with hosting a tournament won't go away, but Germany can either use that pressure to their advantage or it can be their greatest weakness. History is certainly not on their side as they look to avoid the 40-year-old curse that has fallen onto each host since 1984. If they manage to win this tournament, it will be their chance to move on from their ghosts of the past 10 years and start fresh with a clean slate and a shiny new trophy. Keep an eye out for Musiala and Wirtz as they lead the way for this upcoming German side, as well as Toni Kroos, who will be retiring after this year's tournament. But what do you think of Germany's chances at Euro 2024? Do they really have a chance to make it all the way, or will this be another tournament that slips from their grasp? Let me know in the comments below, as well as your predictions for this year's tournament. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more football content, tier lists, and everything in between, and as always, I'll catch you next time.